Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So my name's Julian Walker-Palin, and I'm Head of Sustainability for Walmart and Walmart's business in the United Kingdom. But I'm also delighted to be the global lead for Walmart on our sustainable palm oil goal. So I lead our team all around the world that is striving to achieve this goal that we set out. I thought it might be useful today to take you through our journey from when we set the goal, the objectives behind it, the challenges that we found, and also how we see our wider role going forward. So for those of you who may not be aware, Walmart is one of the largest companies in the world, and we're certainly by a long way the largest retailer in the world. We operate more than 10,000 retail units across 27 countries, including in the United States, and we trade under about 60 different banners. And each of our markets is united in helping to make Walmart a more sustainable company, to help our customers lead better lives, and to help build what we call the next generation Walmart. And this is to help our consumers to do the right thing also. So in October 2010, we changed our journey. Up until that point, we were mostly focusing on ourselves and our operation. In October 2010, we made an announcement which we call our Sustainable Agriculture Goals. And under Sustainable Agriculture, we're focusing in 3 key areas: to support farmers and their communities, to produce more food with fewer resources and less waste, and to sustainably source key agricultural products. And palm oil comes under that last area. The ambition that we set out back in October 2010 was to only use sustainable palm oil in our private label products anywhere in the world by the end of 2015. Our goal is segregated CSPO where possible, but we do recognise along that journey green palm certificates and mass balance. So we're now into our second year. In our first year, you wouldn't have heard much from us about sustainable palm oil because we were focusing internally. We were helping to educate our buyers and to educate all of those around our business on what palm oil constitutes, what products it's found in, the issues with palm oil, and the difference that we could make. So I was actually at RT9, but very much in the background, understanding and learning from all of you the issues that you see from your perspective. But by the end of last year, which was our first year, we had teams in place in every single one of the markets where we operate that is focusing on delivering this goal. We trained those teams through something we call Lunch and Learns, which is a snapshot that doesn't eat into too much of people's time, but helps to drive awareness. And crucially, we had drafted and communicates to our suppliers our sustainable procurement policy for palm oil. And we calculated our usage. Now, usage is about 84,000 tons globally, which is only about 0.5% of global palm oil production. Usually, because we are such a large player, we can drive change in supply chains through our procurement policies. But it became clear with palm oil that we couldn't do that, because our purchasing is too small by ourselves. We also then indicate to our suppliers that the RSPO is the route that we currently see to deliver sustainable palm oil, but we would also accept any equivalents to RSPO as they arose. So what have we been up to this year? It's been really fascinating what we learned from last year that we're now building on. And some of it actually isn't rocket science. A question kept coming up to me from all of the different markets, which was, who's selling CSPO? Who do I need to speak to? And what type of CSPO are they selling in my country? And I guess we'd kind of assumed that would be obvious, that the processor traders would be proactively coming out to us and saying, we've got segregated CSPO or mass balance CSPO, etc., so that we could then procure that. When we realized that this wasn't the case, we worked together with the WWF, with the RSPO, and with the Consumer Goods Forum that we've just heard about, to convene an event in Washington, D.C. in June this year, where we brought together the different actors in the supply chain to tackle these kind of questions. And it was extremely successful, and I think has laid a marker in how Walmart can act as a convener going forward to help bring parties together to deliver our goal, but also to help deliver other people's goals. It's also really important to us to be able to communicate to our consumers, what is the difference that we've made from where we were back at the start of the goal to where we are today. And greenhouse gases is a really important way of doing this. It's something that customers increasingly are understanding when you talk in carbon terms to them. So we looked at our different markets around the world and said, no one really has developed a greenhouse gas calculator for Central America yet. And Central America for us is quite an interesting area because the palm oil that we use is also grown locally. So it's quite a ring-fenced area, which helps us to explore issues there. So we committed resources and we worked with our main partner Unilever to roll out the Palm GHG calculator across a major producer in Central America called Agro-America. And Agro-America gave us vital feedback on the tool that has led to it being refined and has helped, I think, to add to its robustness. And certainly one of our intentions next year is to continue to develop this and to ask more and more of those that supply into us to use this tool. And we also made a significant move forward. So we recognize RSPO or equivalent, as I said, for sustainable palm oil. And this year we've recognized Rainforest Alliance palm oil as an equivalent. Now this doesn't detract from the RSPO at all. In fact, I think it enhances it. So we then decided to build on this question that came out from our markets and that was discussed in the Washington, DC meeting in the middle of this year. Where can we buy CSPO? So we contacted 10 of the largest global processors and traders, and 7 collaborated with us on this. And from that, we've now created what we believe is the first map or directory, if you like, of availability of CSPO, the type of CSPO that's available, and crucially the contact details for that company. So if I'm one of my counterparts in, let's say, Walmart Japan, I can look at this directory, understand which processor traders are bringing CSPO and what type into my country, and the contact details to then contact them to arrange the move of bringing it into our own private label products. It was actually really helpful. We found that there is mixed availability of mass balanced and segregated today, but actually CSPO in one form or another is available in all of our markets, except for India, Argentina, and Chile. Particularly interesting, though, was China and Japan, who previously were unable to find any CSPO and now have a route to bringing that into their products. So this is something that now we want to build on. Clearly, that was only 7 processor traders. It's shown us, though, that it works, that it's possible to do this. And I would encourage you, if you want to work with us on building that next year, please do make contact with me. The other area that's been touched on today is where is the customer? And Walmart is the largest interface with the customer that the world has ever seen. We directly interface with hundreds of millions of people every single week. And we listen to them and they tell us what's on their minds, what they like and what they don't like about the products that we bring them and the way in which we bring it to them. The challenge, I think, with palm oil is it is not currently in consumers' minds. When we talk to them about sustainability, generally it is more local issues. In particular, those that they see when they look outside the front of their buildings or when they're going to their workplace, or those that directly affect their children. They're absolutely not telling us it isn't important. In fact, far from it. They're saying, if you, Walmart, recognize this as an issue, please do it on our behalf. But I want to be clear, we are not being driven by consumers here, which I think leads to further debate being needed. Actually, is it sufficient that the big brands just deliver this on behalf of consumers? Or should we be putting more effort into educating those customers to make them ask and demand more CSPO? A debate I'd be willing to have. But despite this, despite the lack of consumer pressure, in North America last year, one of our retail units, which we call Sam's Club, was the first company in North America to use the RSPA mass balance trademark. And in fact, if you go to the RSPA stand outside today, you can see some of those products there. And that did go down really well with our customers. They were very appreciative of the efforts that we'd made there. So we think we've made fairly significant progress, in particular this year. So if you think of last year as us focusing internally, this year has been really our first year of now going out and starting to drive against our goal. We haven't yet publicly announced, so this is the first time, that we've procured enough green palm certificates to cover 50% of our geographical market's use of sustainable palm oil. And we think that is a good step forward and one that we'll now build on. And already 5% of our total global palm oil use is segregated CSPA. So we feel we've made a good start, and now we need to accelerate this in working with others. And the particular area we want to work on next year is to continue this convener role. So whilst we alone can't drive the change within the palm oil supply chain because our volumes are too low, as such a large company, we do have an influence. And we want to use that influence for good to be more of a convener. So if you think back to the meeting we had in Washington, D.C., how we were able, for the first time, to bring such a large group of people together in North America, from growers to processor traders to NGOs and to other FMCG companies and retailers. This is something that we want to do going forward. And we plan to use our scale to drive uptake across various geographical markets, and in particular, we've heard already a couple of times today, to focus on India and China, and to work with others to form more coalitions to help drive the move towards sustainable palm oil. And thank you very much.